Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my survival series. Yes, last time I went quite off topic, but I think that's going to be pretty regular with this series. And yeah, I guess we might as well just start heading down there, I guess. Does this hurt me? No, it does. No, oh, okay, it does. If you fall onto it, good to know. Anyway, yeah, we're continuing the series of mine, and I might die soon because of this guy. I think I had iron, not yeah. I think it's best if I make some stuff first. I'm enjoying summer, before because this is the year I enter into university, so yeah, I'm enjoying the summer before I become stressed again, but that's all fine. And there's a cow. Yeah. You know what? He better move back. I made a similar joke last time. I'm sorry. Well, we could make a base in this little ravine here. You know what? That's what we'll do. We shall make a base in this little ravine right here. Anyway, so I was talking with my friend, and he had seen the video. And I don't know how we got to this, but I think, oh yeah, because there's this new Minecraft, there's this new pack. I forgot what they're called exactly, but it's like a pack which they had on the marketplace of Minecraft, and it was of SpongeBob, and I was we started talking about Larry the Lobster, I think, and when we did talk about Larry the Lobster. He was just his name is Lop, and it was he was do you think lobsters think that fish are flying? And honestly, that's a pretty good question. That could be that would be a good topic for my video. And so here we are, and thanks to that question, I am going to be talking about if lobsters think that fish fly. No. First of all, we need to think though, let's think of this rationally, we need to think, do lobsters have the capacity to even realize that something would be flying? And I don't know actually, I should have done some I should have done some research about this before starting to talk about this topic, but no, you know what though, this reminds me of the allegory of the cave, kind of, when you think about it, of Plato. I guess a lobster which would have gone out of the ocean would notice that fish are not flying but swimming. But a lobster which would have spent his whole life inside the water would not realize that the fish is actually just swimming, not flying, I mean, it's not a direct comparison, obviously, but I think you get what I'm saying, it's a parallel, I guess. They might very well think that they are flying, because for all they know, they've never seen a bird if they've always stayed in water, but then they wouldn't be able to communicate it, So practically, in Plato's allegory of the cave, there's these slaves who are tied towards and facing a wall. Are the shadows of the real world through the light of a campfire. One of the people manages to get out of the cave, and he notices that the world is much more than just the cave, than the shadows in the cave. Plato was practically trying to demonstrate how art can be deceptive, kind of, because it's a copy. It's a copy, it's a fabrication. It's not reality. But it can deceive us into thinking it is. Then this guy who goes out of the cave, he sees that uh, the light which was providing the thing was an imitation of the sun, you know? And he tries to go and explain it to his fellow compatriots, I guess, I don't know. Not like fellow slaves, I guess. That's a more adequate word, I guess. A bit brutal, but I guess it's the reality in the context of the allegory. Anyway, he goes to there and he tries to explain to them. He's like, listen, we've been living a lie, you know? Like, this is an imitation of reality, not. It's not the truth, you know? It's not what is actually happening. Like, it's not the. It's not true, it's deceiving us. These shadows which we see are mere imitations of reality, you know? But like in the story, then no one understands this slave who went out, who managed to get out of his out of the cave. Like practically, they couldn't. The other slaves which remained inside the cave, they didn't have the capacity to perceive that what they had been looking at was a lie, you know, a deception, a deceptive imitation, because it's all they knew, you know. So I guess back to the do lobsters think fish are flying? I'd probably have to say that if the lobsters and any individual lobster who has never been out of the ocean would think that fish are flying. It was a nice little rant, but back to Minecraft, I guess. Yeah. So let's start trying to get some wool actually, because I would like to get a bed for this little house I have crafted here. Created, I guess. Would be more adequate. We are. Oh, there's a village. And I think there's an outpost as well. No, I'll walk towards it, why not? I need some resources anyway. From the beginning again, good thing there's some wheat here. Yeah. Damn, this is like a whole family here, man. Big family they got. Oh, it's a cat. Small cat as well. Remember when cats and ocelots used to be really hard to tame? I remember like watching that. Like I remember when they had came out. Like I used to think it was so hard, man, to tame those guys. Though then again I was younger, so that's only natural to think, you know. And let's make some bread. Bread. Yeah, so breed, you know, and like bread is like the food material, and bread, which would be like the to breed, like to reproduce, I guess. Those are words which have the same sound, but different meanings, you know. And practically, I guess we're gonna go into linguistics today. Words. So practically, there was this guy called Desaussure, Ferdinand Desaussure. So practically, he had this theory that words, they're made up of two entities, kind of. The meaning and the form. So the meaning would be where we get into semantics and all that sort of stuff, you know. But the form is what you see in front of you. What you see and what you hear as well. You can further divide the form into two more subdivisions, which are the acoustic form, which refers to how a word sounds, and the graphic form, which refers to how a word is spelled. So practically, words which are similar in form are homonyms, okay? And homonyms are split into homographs and homophones. Homophones are words which are similar in the acoustic form, so they sound the same, you know? It's like flower and flower, like flower in terms of flower the plant and flower the one you use in cooking, you know. And then you have homographs, which are words which are written. Homographs, yes. In terms of homographs, it would be words like fine or like you can have a fine in terms of fine a ticket, for example, which you get for like a parking fine, for example. Or you can also have fine like a fine wine, an exquisite sort of thing, you know, like fine jewelry, expensive jewelry. That sort of fine, like as an adjective, you know. Form. But then you can also have a relation between two words on the basis of meaning as well. Synonyms are a bit because it's very unlikely that you'll find a direct and a perfect synonym in language, in any language almost, because practically each word has more than one meaning, you know. So what's the likelihood that you'd have two exact words which have the same primary and secondary meaning, which are which will result in perfect synonyms, you know. Though it is worth noting that we do have a number of partial synonyms. I'm sure many of you know, of course. Like, for example, soccer and football would be synonyms, you know, in certain cases. I mean, not like in the American sense, I guess, but for people not in America, I guess they would be considered as synonyms. Though, then another interesting relationship is the antonym, you know, words which have somewhat opposite meanings. Like, antonymy is something which we grasp at a very young age, you know, like, even toddlers can grasp concepts like up and down and stuff like that, you know. And, is this a... Oh, sorry, lucky day. There's a spawn here. Because sometimes it's not even like direct opposites. It could be like, for example, imagine you have a doctor. Like, what would you think which would be opposite to a doctor? A patient, I guess, you know. Like, they're not really opposites, though they are they're social roles which complement each other, but they're considered antonyms, you know. Like, if like what would be the antonym to a teacher? Like, it wouldn't be an anti-teacher, it would be like a student, you know, probably you'd think in your mind that's the opposite of a teacher, you know. Though then there are colors which may be considered antonyms, like red and blue. Like, this is mainly due to political party color branding, but in reality there's nothing really inherently oppositional between red and blue, you know. Antonyms. Then you have hypernyms and homonyms, which are also pretty interesting. And they do tend to verge on the philosophical leash, to be fair. So a hypernym is practically a broad category of stuff, you know, like music, for example. And a hyponym would be something more specific, like I don't know, like you could say like jazz, rock, like, or flowers. Like, you could start with the hypernym flower, and then have it having multiple hyponyms, which would be the more specific flowers, like roses, tulips, sunflowers, that sort of stuff, you know. But what's interesting about this sort of stuff is how, like, us as humans, we inherently think nowadays that we practically have an answer to everything, you know. But when you think about the fact that eventually we run out of hypernyms due to our lack of knowledge, we're unable to have a definitive hypernym and a definitive hyponym, you know, because in reality, we're quite ignorant about the nature of our universe, you know. Like, up to not that long ago, we didn't even know that atoms could be divided, you know. So people would have said probably that the ultimate hyponym would have been the atom when going, like, breaking it down, you know. But no, it's not like that. Like, now we know that there's you can divide something further than just that, you know? Linguistics is interesting. I would recommend people to get into linguistics. It's a very interesting topic, and I'm noticing that I came here for wool, and I did a whole rambling session on linguistics. Now to find my house again. And we found it. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, probably next episode I will make this house more of a house. Like but yeah, we have our spawn point here at least now. Yeah, so at least we built a little house for ourselves. I mean, for myself. Like, you're not entering into this house unless, I don't know, maybe if once I get a big enough following, I'll invite people to my world. No, maybe I'll invite some of my friends to this world. I don't know. Would be interesting to have a conversation with them too. They're pretty interesting people. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next episode, and goodbye, I guess. Ah, and it's raining. And go give your loved ones a hug, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying this every video. Bye.